I destroyed my own family over a girl I'd known for 3 weeks. I thought it was real. She told me she loved me. My wife begged me to come home. I said no. Now I live alone, with half a pension and no one waiting for me. All because I believed a smile that wasn't meant for me. I'm sitting in this cramped apartment above a noodle shop in Pattaya, staring at the last text my wife ever sent me. Don't come back. You chose her. Live with it. The words blur together now, but I remember reading them over and over that first night, hoping they'd change somehow. They never did. I look around this empty room where Sunni used to keep her clothes folded in neat little piles on the plastic chair, her makeup scattered across the cracked mirror, her flip-flops by the door, all gone. She took everything, even the cheap soap I bought her, even the towel. I keep checking my phone, thinking maybe she'll text, maybe she'll explain, but her number's disconnected, and I know she's not coming back. I wasn't going to speak about this tonight, but earlier this week I opened an email from a longtime viewer of the channel. He told me he'd been watching for months, quietly following every story, but had never found the courage to share his own until now. His words weren't polished, but they were raw, and they hit me like a hammer. At first, I felt shock, that sharp, hollow recognition when you realize another man has made the same mistakes you thought only you had made. Then came sorrow, deep and familiar, because I could feel the loneliness in his words, the same emptiness I once drowned in. And finally, there was gratitude, because his honesty pulled me back here, reminded me that telling these stories matters. So, tonight, I want to pause and say thank you. To you right now, wherever you are, please leave me a comment and let me know where you're tuning in from. I read every one. And to those who keep coming back story after story, this is my super thank you. You're the reason I can keep confessing no matter how heavy it gets. Please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and join the conversation below. Because tonight, I'm ready to tell it all. Let me take you back to where it all started. The apartment feels like a tomb now. Just me, a broken air conditioner, and the sound of motorbikes screaming past my window at all hours. I used to have a house in Missouri. 22 years of marriage. 2 daughters who called me every Sunday. A wife who made coffee the way I liked it, even when we weren't talking much. Now I have 4 walls and a mattress on the floor. The funny thing is, I thought I was saving myself. I thought I was finally choosing happiness. You deserve love, I kept telling myself. You deserve to feel alive again. What a joke. I wasn't choosing love. I was choosing fantasy. And it cost me everything real I ever had. My marriage had been dead for years, if I'm being honest. Not fighting dead, just empty dead. Carol and I moved around each other like strangers sharing a house. We'd sit at dinner, chewing our food, staring at our phones. The silence stretched between us like a canyon I didn't know how to cross. How was work? She'd ask. Fine, I'd say. Yours? Fine. Then back to the quiet. My daughters grew up, moved away, started their own lives. Sarah got married in Denver. Emma took a job in California. They'd call, but it felt like duty calls. Hi, Dad. How are you? Good. How's Mom? Good. Okay, love you, bye. I felt invisible in my own life, like I was watching it happen to someone else. 43 years old, then 50, then 60. Carol stopped touching me years ago. Not angry touching, just any touching at all. We slept on opposite sides of the bed with a no man's land between us. I'd lie there at night wondering when I became a piece of furniture. When did she stop seeing me as a man? When did I stop feeling like one? The business trip to Bangkok was supposed to be routine. 3 days, sign some papers, fly home. But sitting in that hotel room on the last night, looking at my phone with no messages from home, I made a decision. I need 1 more week, I told myself. Just for me. Just to remember what it feels like to be alive. I called Carol. Flight got delayed. I lied. Few more days. Okay, she said. No questions. No disappointment. No nothing. That's when I knew she didn't care if I came home at all. I wasn't looking for trouble when I walked into that bar. I just wanted a beer somewhere quiet, away from the tourist chaos. The place was dimly lit, maybe 8 stools, a few girls chatting with older guys. Nothing I hadn't seen before. I ordered a Chang, minded my own business. Then she sat down next to me. You look like you need a friend, she said, and something about the way she said it, so direct but gentle, caught me off guard. I expected the usual script, the practiced English, the immediate grab for money. But Sunni was different. She asked my name and actually listened to the answer. She laughed at my stupid joke about the humidity. When I told her I sold insurance, she didn't roll her eyes or change the subject. That must be stressful, she said. People depending on you when bad things happen. Nobody had said anything like that to me in years. We talked for 2 hours. About everything. About nothing. She told me she had a daughter back in Udon Thani, showed me pictures on her phone. A little girl with pigtails and a gap-toothed smile. She's beautiful, I said, and meant it. Sunni's eyes got soft. She's my world. Everything I do is for her. I felt something crack open in my chest. When was the last time someone talked to me like I mattered? When was the last time I talked to someone who didn't look at their watch every few minutes? Would you like to get dinner? I asked. She smiled, the first real smile I'd gotten in years. I'd like that very much. We walked to a little place down the street. Nothing fancy. Plastic chairs, fluorescent lights, the smell of garlic and fish sauce. She ordered for both of us in Thai, then translated everything on my plate. This is som tam, very spicy. This is larb, my favorite. Try this one. She watched my face as I tasted each dish, laughing when I couldn't handle the heat. You're not from here, she said, wiping my eyes with a napkin. No kidding, I said, and we both cracked up. I hadn't laughed like that in so long I'd forgotten how good it felt. By the third night, I was completely gone. Sunni would meet me after her shift, and we'd walk along Beach Road talking about our lives. She told me about growing up poor in the Northeast, how her family sold their buffalo to pay for her education, how she came to Pattaya because the money was better than working in a factory. I'm not proud of what I do, she said one night as we sat on a bench watching the waves. But my daughter needs things. Medicine, school uniforms, books. I send everything home. I wanted to fix it all for her. I wanted to be her hero. What if you didn't have to work there anymore? I asked. She looked at me with those dark eyes, so serious. That's a beautiful dream, she said, but dreams don't pay bills. I took her hand. It was small and warm and fit perfectly in mine. What if it wasn't a dream? I said. What if someone wanted to help you build something real? She was quiet for a long time. Then she leaned against my shoulder. You're a good man, Harlan. But good men don't usually stay. The way she said my name, like it was something precious, made my heart race. I'd been married 22 years, and I couldn't remember Carol ever saying my name like that. I'm not like other men, I said. She squeezed my hand. I hope you're right. That night, she stayed with me at the hotel. We didn't just have sex, we made love. Slow and tender and desperate, like we were trying to memorize each other. Afterward, she traced circles on my chest with her finger. I wish I met you before, she whispered. Before everything got so complicated. I kissed the top of her head. We met when we were supposed to meet, I said. Now we can start over, both of us. I believed every word. The lie I told my wife still makes me sick. I was supposed to fly home on a Thursday. Instead, I called the airline and pushed it back another week. Then I sent Carol an email. Not even a phone call, an email. I need some time to think. Don't wait up. That was it. No explanation, no apology. Just a coward's note from a man who'd already made his choice. Sunni was sleeping when I hit send. She looked so peaceful curled up in my hotel bed, her black hair spread across the white pillow. I watched her breathe and imagined this was my life now. Waking up next to someone who smiled when she saw me, someone who listened to my stories, someone who made me feel like I was worth something. My phone buzzed. Carol calling. I turned it off. I didn't want reality creeping into my dream. Good morning, darling, Sunni said when she woke up. Darling. Carol hadn't called me darling in a decade. Good morning, beautiful, I said back, and meant it. She stretched like a cat, then curled up against my chest. What do you want to do today? She asked. Everything, I said. I want to do everything with you. We spent the day like a real couple. Breakfast at a cafe, shopping at the market. She picked out fruit and explained the difference between Thai mangoes and the ones back home. Try this, she'd say, feeding me pieces with her fingers. And this one. Which do you like better? I didn't care about the fruit. I cared about the way she looked at me when I answered. Like my opinion mattered, like I mattered. That evening, we walked along the beach holding hands. The sunset painted everything gold, and I felt like I was in a movie, like this was how my life was supposed to be. Harlan, she said, stopping suddenly. What? I need to tell you something. My heart sank. Here it comes, I thought. The request for money. The sob story. The hook. I'm falling in love with you, she said instead. I know I shouldn't. I know it's crazy. But I can't help it. You make me feel safe. You make me feel worthy. I pulled her close and kissed her right there on the beach, not caring who saw. I love you too, I said, and I meant it with every fiber of my being. I love you so much it scares me. The apartment was my idea. We can't keep doing this in hotel rooms, I told her. We need our own place, somewhere that's ours. Her face lit up like Christmas morning. Really? You want to live with me? I want to build a life with you, I said. We found a small place near the beach. Nothing fancy, but it was clean and bright with a little balcony where we could watch the sunset. The landlord wanted first month, last month, and a deposit. About $800. I paid it in cash without blinking. Sunni cried when I handed over the keys. No one has ever done anything like this for me, she said. I don't know how to thank you. Just be happy, I said. That's all the thanks I need. We spent the whole first day decorating. She bought cheap curtains and plastic flowers to make it feel like home. I bought a rice cooker and a small TV. We had maybe 3 pieces of furniture between us, but it felt like a palace. That night, she cooked dinner on the tiny stove, som tam and sticky rice, the works. We ate sitting on the floor, feeding each other bites and laughing at nothing. This is perfect, I said, looking around our little kingdom. This is everything I ever wanted. She leaned across the space between us and kissed me. Me too, she said. I never had a home before. Not a real one. I wanted to give her the world. I wanted to erase every hard day she'd ever lived. A few days later, we were walking through a jewelry store when she stopped at a display case. Inside was a thin gold necklace, delicate and simple. She stared at it like it was the crown jewels. It's beautiful, she said softly. Would you like it? I asked. She shook her head quickly. No, too expensive. I was just looking. But I could see how much she wanted it. I could see the longing in her eyes. The next morning, I went back and bought it. $2,300, but the look on her face when I gave it to her was priceless. She cried real tears, not the fake ones I'd seen other girls produce on command. Why? She asked. Why are you so good to me? Because you deserve good things, I said, fastening it around her neck. Because you're pure and honest and beautiful, and the world should treat you better. She kissed me so hard I thought my heart might explode. I love you, she whispered against my lips. I love you so much it hurts. That was the moment I knew I'd do anything for her. Absolutely anything. When Sunni told me about her cousin's laundry business, it sounded like the perfect solution. She has a location picked out, Sunni explained over breakfast, right in the center of Udon Thani, but she needs $9,000 to get started. Equipment, deposit, first few months of supplies. I set down my coffee cup. $9,000 was a lot of money. Back home it would have meant months of discussion with Carol, spreadsheets and arguments and sleepless nights. But looking at Sunni's hopeful face, I couldn't imagine saying no. If she gets this business going, Sunni continued, I could come work for her, leave the bar forever. We could have a real life together, Harlan. A clean life. The way she said it, like she was asking permission to be worthy of me, broke my heart. Of course, I said. Of course, we'll help her. I transferred the money that afternoon. Sunni held my hand while I typed in the numbers, her fingers trembling with excitement. Are you sure? She kept asking. This is so much money. It's an investment, I told her. In us. In our future. When the transfer went through, she threw her arms around my neck and sobbed. Thank you, she kept saying. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You saved my life. I felt like a king, like the hero I'd always wanted to be but never had the chance. That night, my daughter Emma called. I let it go to voicemail. Then Sarah called. Then Emma again. Finally, I answered. Dad, what the hell is going on? Emma demanded. Mom says you're not coming home. She says you sent some cryptic email and disappeared. It's complicated, I said, watching Sunni paint her nails on the balcony. Complicated how? Are you having a breakdown? Are you sick? I'm fine, I said. I'm better than fine. I'm happy. Happy? Dad, you've been married 22 years. You have a family. You can't just… I hung up. Then I blocked both their numbers. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want them poisoning what I had with their guilt and expectations. They didn't understand. Nobody could understand unless they'd lived in my shoes, felt the emptiness I'd felt for so many years. I had found love, real love, and I wasn't going to let anyone take it away from me. The first sign something was wrong came on a Tuesday. I got home from buying groceries and found the door unlocked. Sunni? I called, setting the bags on the counter. No answer. She was supposed to be there. We'd made plans to cook dinner together, watch a movie. Her phone was charging by the bed, but she was nowhere to be found. I checked the bathroom, the balcony, even knocked on the neighbors' doors. Nothing. She didn't come home that night, or the next. By Thursday I was frantic. I went to every bar on Walking Street, showing her picture to anyone who would look. Have you seen this girl? Sunni? Works at Lucky Bar? Most just shook their heads. Some laughed. One bartender, an older Thai guy with kind eyes, pulled me aside. How long you know this girl? He asked. A month, I said. Almost a month. He nodded slowly. And you give her money? My stomach dropped. Some. Why? You better sit down, he said. This girl, I see her before. Different farang every few months. Always same story. Always disappear when money finished. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. No, I said. You're wrong. She's different. She loves me. We live together. He looked at me with pity. Maybe you right, he said, but maybe you ask yourself, when last time you see her, when last time she act normal? I thought back through the past week. She had been distant, checking her phone more often, making excuses to leave the apartment. She's planning something, I told myself. A surprise. She's just busy. But deep down, I knew. I knew it was over before I even got back to our empty apartment. Her clothes were gone. Her makeup. Her flip-flops. Even the necklace I'd bought her. The only thing left was a faint smell of her perfume on the pillow and a sick feeling in my stomach that I'd been played. I called her number. Disconnected. I went back to Lucky Bar. She quit, the mamasan told me. Yesterday. Take all her things and go. Where did she go? I asked. The woman shrugged. Same place they all go. Different bar. Different man. Different story. That's when it hit me. I wasn't special. I wasn't her savior. I was just another stupid farang with a wallet and a lonely heart, and I had thrown away my entire life for a lie. I was drunk when my wife called. 3 days of whiskey and self-pity, sitting in that empty apartment, staring at the wall. When her ringtone cut through the silence, I almost didn't answer. I almost let it go to voicemail like all the others. But something made me pick up. Harlan, her voice was thick with tears. Harlan, I need you to come home. Please. I'd never heard her sound so broken. In 22 years of marriage, through miscarriages and her mother's death and my father's stroke, I'd never heard her cry like this. What's wrong? I asked, trying to sound sober. It's Emma. She's in the hospital. She had some kind of panic attack at work. They don't know what triggered it, but she won't stop crying. She keeps asking for you. The room spun. My daughter. My baby girl. Is she okay? She's physically fine, but Harlan, she's not okay. None of us are okay. We need you. I need you. Please just come home and we'll figure this out. Whatever's going on with you, we can work through it. I closed my eyes and saw Emma at 6 years old, running to me when I got home from work. Daddy, Daddy, look what I drew. Always so proud to show me her pictures. When did I stop being the person she ran to? When did I become the person who wasn't there? I can't, I said finally. The words came out like broken glass. Why not? Carol's voice cracked. Because I ruined everything, I said. Because I threw away our marriage for someone who didn't even exist. Because I'm a fool and a coward and you're better off without me. That's not true, she said, crying harder now. We can fix this. We can fix anything. Just come home. It's too late, I said, and hung up. I sat there for a long time afterward, holding the phone, wanting to call her back, wanting to say I was sorry, wanting to say I'd catch the next flight home. But I couldn't face them. I couldn't face the disappointment in my daughter's eyes. I couldn't face Carol trying to forgive me when I didn't deserve forgiveness. So I did nothing. I let the phone ring when she called back. I let my family fall apart while I sat in a foreign country, drowning in my own stupidity. 3 days later, she texted me the message that ended everything. Don't come back. You chose her. Live with it. And just like that, 22 years of marriage were over. Not because of Sunni. Because of me. The German guy's name was Klaus, and he was sitting at the same bar where I'd first met Sunni. I'd been going there every night for 2 weeks, nursing beers and staring at her empty chair, when he slid onto the stool next to me. You look like someone stole your dog, he said in accented English. I showed him Sunni's picture. You know her? He studied it for a long moment, then laughed. Not mean laughter, just tired. Oh, mein Freund, he said. You too? He pulled out his phone and showed me photos. There was Sunni, maybe 5 years younger, wearing the same gold necklace. But she wasn't alone. She was with Klaus, both of them smiling at the camera like they were madly in love. December 2019, he said. I was here for 3 months, rented an apartment, bought her jewelry, sent money to her sick mother in Isan. My hand started shaking. Her mother? Oh yes. Very sick, needed operation. $7,000 for surgery. I paid it, of course. What kind of man wouldn't help the woman he loves save her mother? He scrolled through more photos. There they were at the beach. At restaurants. In what looked like the same apartment I'd rented for us. She told me she loved me too. Klaus continued. Said I was different from other men. Said I was kind and generous and worthy of real love. All the things a lonely old fool wants to hear. What happened? I asked, though I already knew. Same thing that happened to you, I imagine. She disappeared. Took everything. Left me with an empty apartment and an emptier bank account. You know what the worst part was? I shook my head, finding out I wasn't the first. A friend showed me photos from 2017. Same girl, same story, different German tourist. Peter something. She cleaned him out too. Got him to buy her a motorbike. Klaus finished his beer and signaled for another. How many others do you think there were? Does it matter? He asked. The point is, we weren't special. We were just marks, ATMs with feelings. I stared at Sunni's photo. The smile I'd thought was just for me. The eyes I'd thought were looking into my soul. She was so good at it, I said. It felt real. That's what made her worth the money, Klaus said. Anyone can fake being sexy, but faking love, faking genuine emotion and connection, that takes talent. He raised his glass in a mock toast. Here's to Sunni, the best actress in Pattaya. She almost made me believe I was worth loving. I didn't drink to that toast. I just sat there, feeling the last pieces of my delusion crumble into dust. I hadn't been rescued from loneliness. I'd been professionally exploited by someone who made a living off men like me. Men so desperate to feel valued that we'd pay any price for the illusion of being special. I live above a noodle shop now. The smell of pork broth and star anise seeps through the floorboards every morning at 5 when they start cooking. It's not unpleasant, just different from the smell of coffee that used to wake me up in Missouri. Different from Carol humming in the kitchen while she made breakfast. My room costs $300 a month. One window, a bed, a plastic chair, a hot plate. The shower is down the hall, shared with 2 other tenants. A Pakistani guy who sells phone cards and an old British woman who's been here so long she dreams in Thai. It's been 8 months since Sunni disappeared, 6 months since Carol filed for divorce. The papers came to my old hotel address, forwarded 3 times before they found me. I signed them sitting on this same bed, using my passport as a hard surface. My signature looked shaky, like an old man's handwriting. Maybe that's what I am now. Just another old man in Pattaya with nowhere else to go. My daughters call sometimes. Video calls where I can see their faces but not touch them. They're polite but distant, like they're talking to a stranger who happens to share their DNA. "How are you doing, Dad?" Sarah asks, and I can see her trying not to look at my surroundings. "I'm okay," I always say, "just taking things day by day." Emma is harder to read. Sometimes she looks angry, sometimes just sad. "When are you coming home?" she asked last time. "This isn't home," I said, not meaning to sound as bitter as I did. "Missouri is home. Your family is home." "I know," I said. "But the truth is, I burned that bridge. I chose a lie over the people who actually loved me. I chose fantasy over reality. I chose 3 weeks of feeling special over 22 years of being needed. And now I have to live with that choice. The noodle shop owner, a woman named Malie, sometimes brings me soup when she thinks I'm not eating enough. She doesn't speak much English, and my Thai is terrible, but kindness doesn't need translation. She'll knock on my door with a steaming bowl and a shy smile, then disappear before I can thank her properly. Real kindness. Given for nothing in return. It's taken me all this time to recognize the difference. Sunni didn't end my marriage. I did. She didn't make me lie to my wife or abandon my daughters or wire away $9,000 I couldn't afford to lose. I made those choices. I chose to believe her performance because it felt better than facing the truth about my life. The truth that my marriage was dead because I'd stopped fighting for it. The truth that my daughters felt distant because I'd never really been present. The truth that I felt invisible because I'd never demanded to be seen. It was easier to blame Carol for our problems than to admit I'd checked out years ago. Easier to play victim than to be vulnerable. Easier to run away to Thailand and play hero with a bar girl than to do the hard work of saving my real relationships. Sunni just gave me an excuse to do what I was probably going to do anyway. She held up a mirror that showed me exactly who I wanted to be, strong and generous and worthy of love, and I was so hungry for that reflection that I paid any price to keep seeing it. But mirrors lie. They show you what you want to see, not what's really there. What was really there was a 61-year-old man so desperate for validation that he mistook professional manipulation for genuine affection. A man who threw away his family for a stranger's practiced smile. A man who confused being needed with being loved. I video called Carol once, about a month after the divorce was finalized. I don't know what I expected. Maybe closure. Maybe forgiveness. Maybe just to hear her voice say my name one more time. She looked older, tired, but also lighter somehow, like a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. "I'm sorry," I said. "I'm so sorry for everything." She was quiet for a long time. Then she said, "I know you are, Harlan. But sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't give me back the 22 years I wasted believing in us. They weren't wasted," I said. "We had good times. We raised 2 beautiful daughters." "Yes," she said, "we did. And then you threw it all away for someone you'd known for 3 weeks. She wasn't cruel about it. Just matter of fact. Like she was reading a grocery list. Somehow that hurt more than anger would have. I was lonely," I said. It sounded pathetic even to me. "So was I," she said. "But I didn't run away. I didn't abandon our family. I stayed and tried to figure out how to fix things. You just left." She was right. She'd stayed. She'd made coffee and paid bills and answered the phone when our daughters called. She'd held down the fort while I was off chasing fantasies in Thailand. She'd been the adult. "I hope you find what you're looking for," she said before hanging up. "I really do. But it won't be with us." That was the last time we spoke. She's moved on now, I think. Emma mentioned something about Carol taking a pottery class, making new friends. She's building a life without me in it. The life she should have built years ago, if I'd been brave enough to admit our marriage was over instead of just letting it slowly die of neglect. I don't blame her. I don't blame anyone except myself. I made my choice, and this is what it cost me. A family, a home, a place in the world. All for the temporary pleasure of being wanted by someone who never wanted me at all.